Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shauna for those of you who are new here, and today we are talking about how to plan your homeschool year. So whether you are brand new to homeschooling or you're a seasoned homeschooler looking for some different ideas or maybe just some reminders, this video is for you. So grab a cup of coffee and let's get started. Alright, so to start, this video is actually a collaboration that I am doing with Devine over at Calm in the Chaos Homeschooling. There's quite a few other mamas who have joined us in this, so I will link the playlist down for that down below in the description. So please go out and check out their other videos once you're done watching this one. But to start, I do have another video on how to plan your homeschool year. I will link that down below because I go a little bit more into depth in certain areas than what I'm going to do in this video. But basically, like, the very first thing that I would recommend you all do, if you're a brand new homeschooler, is find your homeschool theory. There are so many different types of theories. You could be geared more towards the Charlotte Mason approach, the classical approach. You could be unschoolers. You can be, I don't know, you guys, there's a lot of different theories out there. So I will link a website down below in the description bar that kind of covers a wide range of the different theories and the pros and the cons, just so you guys can learn a little bit more about those things. But that is definitely where I recommend starting if you're brand new to homeschooling, because it's really nice to see, what do I think is going to jive best with our family, and then that will guide you to whatever curriculum you choose to use. So read up on the different theories. And if you have to start your homeschool year without even knowing your theory, but maybe you get some of these workbooks, grab some Scholastic workbooks or even some, free worksheets online. Go to Teachers Pay Teachers, check out some of the worksheets that they have, and start watching your child. How do they learn? Are they further ahead than you thought they would be? Are they right on target? Are they a little behind and need some work in certain areas? Give them these worksheets over the next couple of months and see, how do they best learn, so then that way you know how you can best help them. And, once you have that information, then read up on the theories again and see, do you match up with whatever theory you thought would work, or do you need to change course and maybe you line up with a different theory better? So find your homeschool theory. The very next tip is to check your state laws, and this is whether you are a brand new homeschooler or a seasoned homeschooler. At the beginning of every homeschool year, and when you start planning it, is when you should be checking to see if any of the laws have changed. Even if you're in one of the most lenient states for homeschooling, you should be checking the laws just to make sure that nothing like, subjects were added, or hour requirements have changed, or testing. So check your laws before you even start the homeschool year, just to make sure that nothing changed and that you are abiding by those laws. Next, interview your kids. This was a tip that was given to me when we, in our first year of homeschooling, and it has really helped me to make our homeschool better in the things that they don't like and the things that they do. Last year I interviewed my son, and he told me how much he liked watching the videos that I had planned for some of our unit studies, and I had no idea that he liked those as much as he did. So I've been trying to incorporate more videos this year. So interview your kids, because sometimes you can miss something as small as, adding in a video for certain things. And if that's something that they really enjoy and that helps them to learn the material on a deeper level, then add it in. So interview your kids, see what they liked, what they didn't like, what they might want to see in the future, if they have different interests that they want to explore. The next thing, interview yourself. You guys, it's all about the kids, but it's also not all about the kids. So interview yourself. What did you like? What did you not like? Do you not like teaching a certain subject, but it is required? Maybe you can pass that on to their dad to teach, or another family member. Maybe you can find a local homeschool mom who really has a passion in that area and can ignite a passion in your child, and then you can, you know, offer to trade different subjects with her that you do appreciate teaching, and you know, you guys can work together. Maybe you can put it into your budget to hire a tutor for that subject. Maybe you can find a co-op that has that as a class. There are so many different avenues. So check in with yourself. What did you like? What did you not like? And, you know, just figure out how to make your homeschool better, not just for your kids, but for yourself as well. I have my list. Extracurriculars. You guys, if you have been following us for a while, you know that at the beginning of the year, my kids were in everything. They were in everything. They had like 4 extracurriculars. And while they were thriving and they loved it, I was slowly dying. I did not enjoy it. So this is a time where I'm going to take to really be intentional with the extracurriculars that we are being a part of. And if you happen to have, you know, a spouse that, you know, that travels for work, or that is gone for long periods of time for work, or maybe you're a single mom, really think about, you know, are these extracurriculars that don't just sound good in theory, but really sound good in action? You know, are these things that I can carry out long term all by myself without help? Because that's something that I didn't do. And if I had had the help, then doing those extracurriculars would have been, you know, a walk in the park. But because it was me having to take them to each thing, because at the time my husband was traveling for work for an extended period of time, it was running me into the ground. So really take the time to think about, what extracurriculars do your children want to be a part of? What do you want them to be a part of? And then if it's something that you can easily do that, you know, isn't gonna weigh you down. Next is goals. Plan goals for your kids. Think about, you know, one of the things that I like about, we recently joined Classical Conversations, but one of the things that I really like is that the girl who created it, you know, kind of planned backwards. So she said, this is where I want my children to be when they graduate. And that's how she planned the program, is she planned it backwards. So then she said, okay, this is everything that we need to add in if they're gonna get here. So I'm not saying, you know, do Classical Conversations or anything like that if that's not what you wanna do. But think about that, you know, where do I want my kids to be next year? And then plan backwards. See, you know, what do I need to add in to get them there? Do I want them to work independently? Well, what do I need to do now to get them there? You know, start giving them assignments to do, you know, 1 assignment at a time by themselves, encourage them a little bit more. Or, hey, by next year, I want my son to know the entire Constitution. Like, how are you going to get there? So set goals for your kids, because when you have some type of plan on how to get there, even if you don't execute it perfectly, it's still a plan. You're still going to make some kind of progress towards that, even if you're not perfect. So strive for grace, not perfection, okay? What do you want to do for yourself? Like I said, I mean, it's not all about the kids, even though it is kind of about the kids, but it's definitely all about the kids. But as moms, we have this tendency to, you know, just breed so much life into them while kind of stunting our own growth. So what is it that you want to do? Like, not as a wife, not as a mother, not as a homeschool mom, but as a woman, what do you want to do for yourself? Really sit down and think about that. And whenever you figure out what it is that you want to do for yourself, don't do the classic mom thing and put it on the back burner because, you know, little Susie wants to do saxophone and little Johnny wants to do soccer and then everybody wants to do gymnastics and there's no time left for you. No, because you cannot feed into those babies, you cannot pour into those babies if you are surviving instead of thriving. Okay, so look at what it is that you want to do for yourself for the whole year and make something for yourself for the whole year and determine, can I do this with everything that we have planned for the year, with whatever co-ops and extracurriculars and just our whole homeschool and motherhood plan. Can I do it? And if you can't, take something of the kids out. Take one of their activities out, because you matter too. You deserve to have, things that pour into you, that give you life, because if you are taking time for yourself, you can better take care of your kids. So if you have to cut one of their activities to make room for something that you want to do, cut it out and make time for you. That is a rule. Last but not least, curriculum. So if you are a current homeschooler, then I think most of us, once we find a curriculum that we really enjoy, we just stick with it in the coming years until it no longer serves us, which I think is a beautiful thing. But if you're new to homeschooling, or maybe you're in a position where you're like, I really liked this curriculum in years past, but it's no longer working for us, check out YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful resource that has so many different videos on curriculum reviews and flip throughs, and this is just the perfect time to sit down and really start researching curriculums, so you don't wait until the very, start of the next school year and then you feel stressed. Another wonderful way to find curriculum, besides talking to other homeschool moms that you might know, is to go to your state's homeschool convention. We went to our very first one last year, and it was full of different classes that homeschool parents can take. They also had a very large room filled with all different types of curriculum vendors, and this was so nice to get to go to. And when you go there, you can flip through the different curriculums, you can talk to the vendors, you can talk to other homeschool parents, and you can physically see, is this something that I think my child would like? Does it seem too hard, too easy? What are my questions about it? And you can get answers right there. You can see prices. So if you have a homeschool convention going on in your area, I think most of them are done during the summertime, check it out and go. Now, for the conventions, don't get so excited when you're there that you get totally bought into a curriculum and you go and buy it. Take whatever you learn from the convention, go research it on YouTube, and maybe talk to some other parents who might be doing it. Because when we went to the convention, I was completely sold on this history curriculum. We didn't have history, so I didn't know, do I want to use master books? Do I want to use another one? And when I was first looking into the homeschool theories, I thought, I think we're going to be a mix of Charlotte Mason and classical. And all last year we did a Charlotte Mason curriculum, and that was working perfectly for us. So when I went to this homeschool convention, and actually ended up being a classical themed history, and I was like, okay, we'll add it in because, I did the theory research, and you guys, we bombed this history curriculum so bad. It actually made my son hate history, and so it was really, really rough. And my 5-year-old, she could not even sit through it. She didn't want to hear it. It completely lost her. And after that, I was thinking, oh yeah, we're definitely not going to be a classical approach family at all. And so, basically, what my point is guard your heart and manage your excitement with any of these curriculums, because I think homeschoolers have this tendency to get into a room full of books and they just lose their minds. I know I do. But guard your heart, do your research, and if you're like me and a curriculum flops, be okay with that. Don't force it, because the more you force it, the more your child is most likely going to hate that subject, and you too. So guard your heart. Be okay with it if it flops. Have a backup plan. You can do unit studies. You can buy flashcards. You can buy some, scholastic books on whatever subject that you're working on until you're able to save up for another curriculum. And know that even if it doesn't work out, you're not failing, you are doing amazing, and that just because maybe that one curriculum in that specific theory didn't work for you doesn't mean that another one won't. You know, at the beginning of the year when we used that history curriculum, I was like, I'm never doing anything classical ever again. And here I am joining classical conversations because the way that they teach it works so much better for my kids. My kids love songs, and classical conversations works in a lot of different songs and movement. So they're actually really enjoying that. So just because one curriculum in a specific homeschool theory doesn't work for you doesn't mean that another one won't. So you just might have to try a few, and that can get expensive. And on Facebook, they have lots of, buy-sell trade groups for specific curriculums. So you might want to also check that there. All right, that was my last tip for planning your homeschool year. Let me know down below in the comments, how do you plan your year? Is there anything in this video that you found particularly helpful? Is there anything that you do that I didn't mention that would be helpful? Let's lift each other up and give each other different ideas. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that red subscribe button. Check out the other ladies' videos. I'm linking that down below as well. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.